Hi guys, a friend suggested I should read this article. It's from the Wall Street Journal. It's all about if AI is taking graduate student jobs. So let's check it out. So the title is AI is wrecking an already fragile job market for college graduates. So this is US based. And what they're basically saying is for new entrants into the job market, a lot of that intern work is being automated by AI tools. So, what companies are doing are hiring less graduates and interns and hiring more experienced people. So, the organizational structures are actually changing. This CEO, George Arison, is saying that companies are going to need less people at the bottom. And another CEO of a consulting firm, Futurity, they decided to not hire a summer intern at all this year because they're basically moving all their social media copy into ChatGPT instead, and someone senior up does all the work. So some tips that they said is focus on jobs that require people skills that can't easily be automated. They also said that having a good job out of college is no longer guaranteed. So they also said there's a long-term agreement between companies and new graduates that entry-level employees are young, hungry, and willing to work hard for lower pay. In exchange, employers would give them all the training they need to get started in the job market. Now, these new graduates and the work that they actually do is exactly the type of work being targeted by AI at the moment. So, unemployment rates are higher for people that just have a high school diploma versus people that have a bachelor or graduate degree. But the bad news for recent college graduates or university graduates is unemployment is rising faster. It also says hiring has slowed in information, finance, insurance, and technical services, but it's still growing, basically saying that that area is becoming more efficient with no immediate downside to hiring fewer inexperienced workers. Another interesting stat is the amount of people that experience a layoff. They might get sacked and then go get another job. Another interesting stat is people that do have degrees. They may experience a layoff or get sacked from their role and then go on to get another role. That's happening a lot in information technology, so a lot of turnover. Other areas that are affected by layoffs is finance, insurance, professional business services, wholesale trade, arts and entertainment. Whereas the other part of this is the stable, more longer term roles are in construction, education services, accommodation, and food. So, another statement is employers are letting go of their entry level workers and more likely to hire experienced professionals. And since 2.5 years ago, when ChatGPT was released, a lot of CEOs now are openly talking in public about AI and the deep job cuts that will happen. Another CEO from Ford is saying that AI will replace half of the white collar workforce in the USA. So, what this means is graduates are not only competing for fewer jobs, but also competing against recently laid off workers that are juniors. So, in the USA, the overall job unemployment rate is 4%, but for new college graduates, the unemployment rate is 6.6%. So a lot higher. And this is affecting people between 22 and 27 years old, typically recent college graduates. This is especially affecting the tech sector, with recent college graduates only accounting for 7% in 2024, which is down from 11% in 2022. And a lot of companies are attributing this to the growing use of AI. Now, there's a quote in the article from a uni student who was looking to get into user experience for apps and websites. Basically, his mentor recommended that this whole field is going to be taken over by AI, which is a pretty bold statement. They're saying that it will be non-existent in 5 years. Now, I don't see any evidence in the article to back up that statement, so I'm just going to leave that there. Another job recruiting platform called Handshake said there was 15% less entry-level jobs than last year, while the number of job applications rose 30%. So a lot more recent college graduates applying for entry-level jobs. And this stat also applies to internships as well. So typically an entry-level employee would gain a lot of skills from doing the grunt work. Let's say you had to create an industry report. It might have took you 5 days to do. This can be done in a matter of seconds with powerful AI that have connections to the internet. So a lot of that skill development is not happening anymore. So what they're saying is companies will need to learn how to train that new person in a different way. It's doing the hard work where you learn the most. So there's a new trend where companies are running orientation workshops to mentor potential new employees, which is a lot more focused on training and mentoring the new entries into the workforce rather than making them do 1 week long grunt work of researching a report. So Carlisle from this investment firm is basically saying that new hires won't be doing any grunt work at all. All the grunt work will be left to the AI to do. So a more important skill is for the person to actually know how to read the AI results and make sure that they are correct and validated with correct sources. It's not all bad news. So some companies are keeping the same entry-level hiring rate, but basically making them use a lot more AI tools to do the work. Big highlight on this is a completely messy transition. ChatGPT dropped 2.5 years ago, and companies are only just catching up to the difference in training new entrants. The same goes for coding. So engineers would typically have to do a whole bunch of coding in their first job. A lot of that is now automated with AI. They need to look for security vulnerabilities and to make sure that the code that is generated can be trusted. A lot of companies want to know that the new person entering the job knows and understands how to use AI agents, where the AI agent can go off and complete the job in an hour using a whole bunch of tools and data at its disposal. This type of AI agent automation is exactly what is automating a lot of that grunt work that entry-level candidates used to do. Now you can just throw your hands up and not worry about AI. But what we're basically saying is have a plan. What happens if some of the work that I'm applying for is automated? Really, you shouldn't have a lot of experience with AI now. It's been 2.5 years. So if you are going into a job interview, if you're a recent graduate from university or college, make sure you have these AI skills and are able to talk about it in your job interview. Another interesting statement in this article, a lot of that client-facing work cannot be automated by AI. So in summary, there'll be less or equal amount of work for new people coming into the workforce. A lot of that workload in companies is being automated by AI. If you're coming into the workforce now, make sure you have AI skills. You're able to leverage AI tools like ChatGPT to automate a lot of that grunt work. 100% in your job interview, you'll be asked that question. Have you got experience with AI? Now, I'm an open source contributor to OpenXAI. Now, this is a project that's all about decentralizing AI, cutting out the middleman and allowing people to build AI applications on top of decentralized cloud and integrate Web3 for monetization. I just wrote this blog article, so have a look. Basically, it's on the OpenXAI Medium blog, so have a read of it. This actually talks about the intern roles available at OpenXAI. It talks about how to vibe code and use AI to generate applications. It also talks about how there's a hackathon, so you can actually get experience with AI tools, use vibe coding to build AI apps, and then put that as experience on your portfolio in GitHub or on your resume. So these are the exact things you would need if you're graduating from university and walking into an interview. Here's a whole bunch of experience. I've been using AI tools for the last year or two. Here's some projects that I built in hackathons to show the interviewer. So I'll link the blog post in the bottom of this video, but please check out my previous video. I literally sit there running through how to vibe code with Cursor AI, how to build an AI app in like 5 minutes. For a chat app, I built a sentiment analyzer in 5 minutes using vibe coding and Cursor AI. I also run it locally, as you can see here. So you can see what I built in that 5 minutes on the stream. I then also talk about the AI application that I built the night before for 2 hours. Basically, it's a 3D globe where you can change the parameters of the environment to simulate climate change to the Earth, and then see how it affects the 9 environmental metrics of the Earth. I then run through a whole bunch of example apps that you can build in the hackathon. Everything from voice cloning to AI debating, AI gaming, to image generation apps, to educational content creation, decentralized finance advisors. Basically, just pick your idea and run with it. Use AI and Cursor and just vibe code whatever idea you have. Start iterating, working with AI. The main thing is to just build. It won't be 100% the first response you get from Cursor, but then you just keep making changes and improving the quality of your application that you build. Now this is for Australians. It's called HackNode Australia by OpenXAI. It's a hackathon. There's prizes, there's GPU and cloud credits, and there's also a chance for you to win the hackathon prizes and then go into a Global Accelerator in Dubai. So you can learn more about this at accelerator.openxai.org, where you can see the different hack nodes around the world that are launching. Currently, Australia's open, USA and India are coming, and maybe another country soon. And then over on BlockCBlock, it's the hackathon platform where you can actually apply and be part of the hackathon. Once you sign up, you'll get access to a whole bunch of Luma events, a Discord server to chat with other contributors to the project, and learn more about the judging criteria of the hackathon and some of the rules of when to submit your project. We've made it really easy for you to be able to vibe code. So basically all you need to do is clone the GitHub repo. Cursor AI will learn the context from the GitHub repo code, and then all you have to do is talk to Cursor and say build an app like the examples in this repo, but for whatever my use case is. So it's super easy for you to get started. You can build an app in 5 minutes. Now there's only 9 days left of HackNode Australia, so make sure you subscribe, join the hackathon and submit your project. You can submit it, get some feedback and resubmit. So just get in there and submit your code. And for those studying at university or have recently graduated, make sure you get experience with AI. There's plenty of hackathons like this out there for you to get experience, build projects, put them in your resume, in your portfolio on GitHub. So you can get started with vibe coding and Cursor AI in a matter of minutes. So there's nothing else to wait for. Just get stuck into it. And I wish you luck for your future. Cheers.